Welcome my dear students to my history class 8A and 8B. Now the same lesson number 7, rise of British power in Bengal. Here there are some points written in the board. As per these points I am going to teach you. The first point, consequences of the Battle of Buxar. In previous class I taught you about the Battle of Buxar. What happened to the Battle of Buxar? Who fought against each other in the Battle of Buxar? I discussed in my previous class. Once again, for your conveniences, I am re-explaining the same point. The Battle of Buxar was held in the year 1764 between Nawab Mir Qasim and the Confederate Army under Mir Qasim, Sujauddullah, Nawab of Ayod, and Shah Alam II, Mughal Emperor. So, the Battle of Buxar was fought between Mir Qasim and his Confederate Army and British East India Company. Now, what was the result of it? British East India Company defeated Mir Qasim and his Confederate Army. That means the three forces, the forces of Mir Qasim, the forces of Nawab Sujauddullah of Ayod, and the forces of Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II were defeated by the forces of East India Company in the Battle of Buxar in the year 1764. Now, what is about the consequence of the Battle of Buxar? Today I am going to discuss. And what is about the significance of the Battle of Buxar? After defeating the combined forces of Mir Qasim, Sujauddullah and Shah Alam II, the British East India Company established its complete control over Bengal and proved their political supremacy over Bengal. As a result of it, a treaty also was signed. The name of the treaty was the Treaty of Allahabad. Before signing the Treaty of Allahabad, the British East India Company imposed huge restrictions on Sujauddullah, the Nawab of Ayod, and Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II, because Mir Qasim fled. Mir Qasim escaped from the battlefield in order to save his life. But Sujauddullah was a very peaceful-minded Nawab. He himself and Shah Alam II, they did not leave their places. And as a result of it, British East India Company imposed high amount of war indemnity. The British East India Company charged a huge amount of war indemnity on Ayod and Delhi. Ayod for the Nawab Sujauddullah and Delhi for the Emperor Shah Alam II. But both of the two powers, Sujauddullah and Shah Alam II, after the long discussions with the British officials, signed a treaty. The name of the treaty is Allahabad. As per the clauses of the treaty, both of them decided to give some concessions to the British East India Company. Sujauddullah was asked to pay 53 lakhs as war indemnity by the British East India Company. And at the same time, Sujauddullah also was guaranteed by the East India Company to protect his kingdom, to protect his state from the attack of external powers or foreign invasions, provided Sujauddullah would have to pay a certain amount of money for the maintenance of British forces there. Sujauddullah ultimately was forced to agree, and ultimately was completely dependent on the British East India Company. and by that way Ayodhya had become Ayodhya had become a dependent state on the British East India Company. And Emperor Shahu Alam II allowed British East India Company to collect the revenues of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha by issuing one former of Diwani. That means under the disposal of Emperor Shahu Alam II, British East India Company took the Diwani of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha. It was Lord Clive who was present there, took the Diwani, the necessary papers from the hands of Mughal Emperor Shahu Alam II regarding the process and regarding the system as to how they would collect revenues from Bengal, Bihar and Odisha. All the written documents he collected from Shahu Alam II. At the same time, Shahu Alam II was given two important states, Kora and Allahabad. Two important states, Kora and Allahabad. These two important places and provinces which were under British control were given to Shahu Alam II. Shahu Alam II agreed to pay an annual sum 26 lakhs. At the same time, it was decided because Shahu Alam II, before signing, asked them how much amount of money they would provide him for giving the Diwani of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha. Lord Clive was present there. So Lord Clive decided to pay an annual sum of 26 lakhs rupees to him. Company, on behalf of the company, Lord Clive gave the districts of Kora and Allahabad to whom? To Shahu Alam II, and at the same time agreed to pay an annual sum of 26 lakh rupees to Shahu Alam II, Mughal Emperor. Although Shahu Alam II demanded 30 lakhs, and later on that bargaining was going on, 30 to 28 and then 26. It was decided that company would pay an annual sum of 26 lakh rupees to Shahu Alam II, the Mughal Emperor, under the term of the Treaty of Allahabad of 1765, which was signed at the end of the Battle of Buxar. And apart from this, the condition of Ayodhya had become very miserable because the Nawab of Ayodhya was a very peaceful man. He was forced to pay 53 lakh rupees as war indemnity to the East India Company. Moreover, the two signed an alliance that required the company to support the Nawab against any kind of attack or foreign invasion. If Nawab paid for the troops that were sent to his aid, ultimately Nawab was bound to accept, bound to agree, and a treaty also was signed between the Nawab of Ayodhya, Shujaudullah, and British East India Company. As a result of that alliance, Nawab of Ayodhya extremely depended on the British East India Company. Afterwards, the Nawab did not want to sign. The other nobles forbade him to signing the treaty or alliance because it was a very the treaty which was going to be signed by the Nawab of Ayodhya was against the interest of its financial stability. Although the financial stability of the state was not good, yet Nawab was going to sign the alliance and the treaty, where the British demanded 53 lakhs as war indemnity to Nawab of Ayodhya. Moreover, the Britishers also proposed that the British East India Company, the troops of British East India Company would protect, the troops of British East India Company would protect the kingdom of Nawab or the state of Nawab Ayod, provided the Nawab would have to maintain a group of soldiers or British troops in his own state at his own cost. And at the same time, Nawab would have to follow the necessary instructions given by the company for him. By that way, and for that reason, by reading the terms and conditions of the alliance, the other nobles refrained Nawab from signing the alliance and treaty. But Nawab was a very peaceful one. Initially, he agreed to pay only 35 lakh rupees as war indemnity to the British East India Company, but the company rejected his proposal and strongly demanded 60 lakh rupees as war indemnity to be paid. But ultimately, after a long negotiation and bargaining, it was fixed amount 53 lakhs to be given to the British East India Company by the Nawab of Shuja'ud-Dawla as war indemnity. Ultimately, 53 lakh rupees, the amount, a sum of 53 lakh rupees paid to the British East India Company as war indemnity, and ultimately under another clause, the British decided to protect his kingdom from foreign attacks and foreign invasions, provided the Nawab would have to maintain a group of British troops at his own cost. Ultimately, all terms of the alliance of Allahabad or the Treaty of Allahabad, Nawab of Ayod accepted, and by this way, the state Ayod became a dependent state on British East India Company, a dependent state on British East India Company. So this is the consequences of the Battle of Buxar and Treaty of Allahabad and the right of Diwani and Pune and Allahabad. Pune and Allahabad, these two important places were given to Shahu Alam, to Mughal Emperor. Why? Because the two important states were British control. British control was there. The British, on being pleased by giving the Diwani of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha by Shahu Alam to Mughal Emperor, they decided to give the two important places, Pune and Allahabad, as gift to the Mughal Emperor Shahu Alam II. And at the same time, they also agreed to pay a sum of rupees 26 lakhs as annual 26 lakhs as annual sum to the Mughal Emperor Shahu Alam II, only because of the Diwani. What is the meaning of what do you mean by the Diwani? How was the British benefited with the Diwani issued in the name of them? Diwani, the right of Diwani given to British East India Company by Mughal Emperor Shahu Alam II gave the right to collect the revenues of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha. And at the same time, the British company also agreed to pay a sum of rupees 26 lakhs as final sum annual as they agreed they to pay an annual sum of 26 lakh rupees to Shahu Alam II. The British East India Company agreed to pay an annual sum of 26 lakh rupees to Shahu Alam II only because of the Diwani given to their name. And the right, as per the right, British East India Company obtained the right of collecting revenues of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha as per the treaty of and the term of as per the terms of the Treaty of Allahabad. So these are the consequences of the Battle of Buxar, my dear students. These are the consequences of the Battle of Buxar. Next day, I shall discuss about the consequences in Bengal, the dual government system which was introduced by Lord Clive, and what was about it, what arrangement was introduced by Lord Clive in dual system of government, and what was the nature of dual government. Next day I shall discuss it in detail form, the dual government system. Up to this, my dear students. Thank you.